Welcome to Kim's Crafting Corner, and today I am going to show you how to make a very simple shadow box. Now, this is a great beginner project if you've never done layered paper before and you just want one to get you started. And this design is available on my Etsy store, RTI Crafts, and the link will be in the notes below, whether you're watching this on YouTube or whether you are part of my Kim's Crafting Corner membership. You will see the link to this specific design. So I wanted to show you this today. It was actually a 14-layer design that I did because I wanted to give people lots of options when doing it. Now this is 7 out of the 14 layers together. Also have one that I did in very shiny. Now, hopefully, I don't know if you can see it. Okay, I have to angle it a bit. But that's different shiny papers that I used in the shadow box. This is also one in matte with all 14 layers together. So you can see it's pretty dense. And this one's really good, especially if you want to put any type of lettering on the glass itself. So we're not going to cover that in this video, but I just wanted to let you know that those are an option, that when you do these shadow boxes, you can always decorate the outside as well. Now I got these shadow boxes. They're the 8-inch square shadow boxes. I got them at Michael's. They come in a 3-pack and they were the least expensive ones. They also have different sizes in the 3-pack. So for me, it's worth it. It comes in white, black, silver, I believe. So you have some different options in terms of getting some reasonably priced shadow boxes. If you are in Canada, if you're in the States, you have some different options. So I'm going to take you into Cricut Design Space right now. Oh, I forgot to show you one more thing. So this was just a slightly different design I had done. These are bumblebee bees. And this is also going to be available as well on my Etsy store. I didn't have another shadow box to put them in for you, but I just wanted to show you that design as well. So I'm going to go to my Cricut now. All right, so you can see here that I've already got some of them uploaded. Now, if you do not know how to upload a file, I will quickly show you. But if you do know how, you will see down in the show notes the timestamps for everything so that you can skip the parts you already know. But if you don't know how to upload a file, you go down here to upload, click on upload image. You're going to browse to find it on your computer. And in this case, there. And you want the SVGs if at all possible. It's a lot less work. They're already prepared to cut. So we're just going to pick one of them here, flower 3. I'm going to hit open. You see it's already there. With a PNG image, you might have to remove the background, or with a JPEG. So try and use SVGs when at all possible. Just click upload. And then you would just click on this and click on insert images. But I'm not going to do that because I already have the project hopefully still pre-set up. So we're going to go back up here to the canvas. All right, so now what I want to do here is I'm just going to come down here a little bit. And I want to change the zoom here, but my zoom bar all right, is covering it, so I couldn't see it. So we're just going to click this a little bit bigger so you can see. So I've got them lined up here, starting from the top one here. This is the top layer. So this is layer 13. So I chose 7 out of the 14 layers. And what you can do, I'm just going to show you a way that you can customize it. So I picked layer 13, 10, 7, 5, 3, 1 in the background. But you can choose whatever layers you want to create different effects. So I just want to show you how you layer them all together so you can see what it looks like. So say you want to play around with, maybe you want 8 layers or 10 layers and you want to see how it looks. So you want to scan down here, and I've got it uploaded, and you just keep putting them down the screen one below each other. They will be cut on separate mats when you go to cut this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this a little bit smaller so that we can see it. I'm going to bring this here into the center. So in this case, I'm going to make this white just so it's easier to see through. I'm going to bring this layer down on top of it, and I'm going to go up here to arrange, and I'm going to click send to front. And actually, I want to change the color of that. I'm just going to change them to a whole bunch of different colors just so you can see. So we got the first layer. We got the second layer. Send to front. And we'll make this one blue. And you're just going to keep pulling them all down. Now, this is only if you want to change this up and customize it. So if you want to use the layers I did, it was layer 13, 10, 7, 5, 3, 1, and the background. And we're going to center it in a minute, so don't you worry. We just got to get all the layers on there first. And of course, now we got to start pulling them way down because I had to minimize my screen. That one, arrange, send to front, change the color. We've only got 2 more. Okay, let's bring it down. So this is the fun part about Cricut, is getting to play around with things and getting to choose what it is you want to do. And yes, I do have a problem sometimes doing 2 things at once. But here we go. We got the last layer. So we'll bring this down here. Send this to the front. And let's make it a nice blue. Okay. Now what you want to do is you want to come from the corner here, any of the corners. You want to click on your left click on your mouse. You want to highlight the whole thing. And then the first thing you want to do is come up here to align and hit center. So they're all centered nicely. And then you want to hit up here. Got to move myself there and hit group. So now you can see what it looks like. And we're just going to scan this out so you can get a better view of what the whole design looks like together. All right, so if you look at that and you go, yeah, I really kind of like that. Then what you're going to do is start hitting undo. Now, here was something I do need to tell you about before we go any further, because I did forget it. When you're using these designs, this one here was created at 8-inch, 8-inch. Now this is an 8-inch box, but you can't cut it out at 8 inches. So let's take a look at the box here. So if you see in the box, there actually is another little squarely area. So you need to measure this inside to inside and see what that is. Because if you do it 8 by 8, you can't put this piece back in and then it doesn't sit as nicely. So you want it really nice and comfy here. So in this Michaels one, it was 7.56. I decided to go with 7.5. It just made it a nice even round number and it fits nicely in this square. So make sure that whatever shadow box you get, that you measure the inside. Maybe it doesn't have one of these. Maybe it's just the inside of the frame. Well, you've got to measure from inside to inside. You can't go from outsides. Have to go from the insides. Otherwise, the design's not going to fit in properly. And I just remember that because I increased the size on those. So we're going to have to make sure that they're sized back again. So at this point, I'm just going to start hitting the undo button. Here we go. All right, so now they're all nicely lined up again. And as you can see, the size is 7.5 by 7.5. So once you've determined the layers and what you want to do, it's actually quite simple at this point. You've got them all lined up here. You're just going to go over here to the Make It button. With this project, you do not need to attach them because they're big enough. They just sort onto separate mats because of their size, because you can't fit two on a mat anyway. Now, you could put two on if you were using the 12 by 24. 7, 15, 22. You might even be able to put three on. If you're using one of the new machines with the smart vinyl, you could actually probably just continuously cut this. But I am on an Explore Air 2, and I'm going to be using a 12 by 12 mat just to make it simpler. So you're going to go over here to Make It. And you can see you've got all the layers here. Now it did organize them a bit fluky. It put the background first, then started from the top. So you want to make sure that however it cuts, that you align them up in the proper order. So in this case, this is the bottom layer and number 2 is the top layer. So keep that organized when you're pulling them off of the mat. The other thing you want to do is when you pull it off, you want to pull them off the same way each time. You want to put a little number in the corner on the back side. And that's going to help you also keep it aligned. So pull it off of the mat the same way. So pull it off of the mat, actually pull the mat off of the paper, and then you leave it down. Okay, so the side that's up is actually the back side. So just put a little number there and do it the same way and keep piling them on top of each other. And that's going to happen, except for in this case, the background one, because it has to go last. So if you start with the 13 and do it first, then the 10, the 7, the 5, the 3, the 1, the background, and you pile them, then they're all ready for when you go to put them into the shadow box. So at this case right now, we're just going to hit continue. Oh, give me a second here. I forgot to plug in because I am using my non-craft computer here to record on Zoom because this is the better computer. And I want to show you what it all looks like. Okay, turn on my Cricut machine. So I just hooked it up using the USB cable. And with your machine, you can use the USB cable that comes with it. You can also use your Bluetooth. So here's a hint. If your Bluetooth is just giving you troubles, and there's times Bluetooth is just giving me troubles and I need to get something done, I just plug it in USB, works great. So now you need to determine what material you are using. And again, you have several different choices. Now, one thing I want to mention to you is I tend to do these in the thicker cardstock. So the 80 to 100 pound cardstock. It makes it firmer, the designs lay flatter. It just makes it it makes it nice, look nicer, and it doesn't sink in as much because the cardboard can hold the weight of the other layers. Now you can do 65, but I just did not find it as strong and as nice looking as either the 80 or the 100 pound. Now, when you are using those heavier cardstocks, you cannot use the cardstock for intricate cuts. You must use either the 80 or the 100 pound. So in this case, I'm going to pick the 100 pound. And on my machine, I have always found that the more is better. So at this point, you're going to take and you want to use your blue mat, and you're going to put your paper on your blue mat. Make sure it's in the same spot where the cutting is going to be. And you can use, in this case, you can use an 8.5 by 11 cardstock. You can use a 12 by 12, but you're going to be wasting a little bit more. and you can choose your colors. So as you can see in the ones that I did, I have a red and white one. I have one with 4 different blues, and then I have one with different shiny colors. So purple, silver, purple, and blue is this one. So play around with the colors, you know, check them out. I found this one here with the blue one, because it's a matte color, it didn't come out quite as vibrant as I wanted it to. Maybe I needed to use slightly darker colors, or maybe paper with a little bit of shine or sheen to it. So in this case, for this one, it would be really good for me to put some sort of design on the glass here, just to brighten it up a little bit. So once you've got it, the paper on your mat, you're going to take and you're going to load it into your machine. You're going to hit the arrow button. And once it's loaded properly, you're going to hit the C button. You're going to go through and cut them all out. Now, when you've done cutting, you're going to have your piece of paper. Now, I'm not going to cut this piece of paper, but you're going to have the piece of paper on your mat, and it's going to be cutted. Now, what you want to do is you want to put it down on the table, and then you want to peel the mat away from the paper. If you peel the paper away from the mat, it will start to bend. But if you pull the mat away from the paper, it doesn't bend. Okay, so that's just a little hint and tip for you when taking paper off of your mats. And you definitely are going to want to use the light grip mat for doing your shadow boxes. If you use a standard grip, you're going to have a hard time getting the paper off. If you use a strong grip, well, you may as well forget it. You're probably not getting that paper off without it ripping. All right, so now we've got this all cut out. I'm not going to show you the Cricut machine cutting it out. I mean, I can do the speed up the video and all that. But, you know, at this point, hopefully you've used your Cricut machine before, so you don't need a video of the Cricut machine doing its thing. So when I come back, I'm going to show you how to put this all together. Welcome back. Well, now we're going to put this all together. And as I pulled these out and I took them off of the boards, I numbered them so that I could make sure that it looks proper. So we're going to start with the back side, and we've got the frame apart here. Now, some people like to glue these two together. Personally, I think it's a step that's not necessary. So we're going to put this here. Just get that ready there. All right. Now, the only thing that we need to put it together are these glue dots. And you can get them lots of different places. Be careful ordering them off of Amazon, because I did, and then I realized I could get them a lot cheaper in other spots. So check around prices for these 3D Zots, Wonder Dots, whatever you want to call them. So if you're doing many layers, like say you're doing the full 14 layers, you're not going to put these dots between each layer. You're going to do like one layer, dots, one layer. So don't put them every layer, put them like every second layer. So first thing we're going to do is just place that in there. And I like to use this because it does help to line it up a bit. It makes it a little bit easier in lining them up. I always put the dots on the back side. So you see here, I numbered it so I know which side's the back side. And what I'm going to do is move this up here just a little bit. All right, so now comes the fun part. Putting on all the dots. And I usually do about 8 8 or 9 of them. Because that way it gives really nice definition and you don't have any sagging spots. So I can tell you by the end of it, especially if you've done a lot of layers, sometimes it's just not fun anymore. But anyway, so now we've got this here. We're going to take, and we're just going to bring this. And you want to, I usually do it this way, align it up to the one side just to make it easier. And then when you put it in, you're just going to make sure that you line them up. Just a little gentle press on each dot. So we're going to just keep working on this. So did you know that I have a free membership where you can get a free design each week? You can get these tutorial videos and some exclusive videos, resources that I don't post anywhere else. Just a lot. I am building up a massive library of designs and resources to help you with all of your crafting needs. So you can go and check that out. The link is in the show notes. You can go to https://library.kimscraftingcorner.com, and if you go there, you can sign up for free, and that will get you in. Now the nice thing about these glue dots is if you don't quite get it right, if you realize it before you really push it down, there, that's where. So when you're doing it, just try to make sure that you align them as best as possible. Take your time putting them down, because it only takes a little bit out and it just doesn't always look right. Now I don't know about you, but sometimes when I'm doing my Cricut crafting, oh, it can get a little tiring, especially when you make mistakes. And so I always suggest that if you're doing this, do this when you have time, not when you're rushing around. So on a couple of days ago, it was my son's birthday, and last minute I was trying to make him a card, and the design I bought didn't print out clearly. I had to change everything midstream. It was not a fun experience, though I did manage to get a card done for him, and he liked it, but it didn't make the experience very happy. So I highly suggest that if you're working on something that's important, that you give yourself the time to do it, that you don't try to do it when you are rushed. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to fast forward the video through the rest of these layers as we go along, because you don't need me to sit here and just watch me put on dots for the next 3 layers. All right, there you go. It is all in. Now I do have to admit to you, there are times that I am not the greatest at lining things up. So, you know, this is something that I am working on, but I love this design because it's simple, it's neat, and it works out well. So at this point, the last thing that we need to do is just, I just noticed there the glass has got a little, all right. So we're going to put the glass on top. frame over it gently and let it all go in. There you go. Push your little things down. And you now have a completed design. Isn't that pretty? And the nice thing about this too is that you could even take and take some vinyl if you have a word or a saying or an SVG like, and you can actually cut that out and put it on the glass. You can even change it per season. So if you used removable vinyl, you could pull it off and just have it for different seasons. And the nice thing about this, you can do it with so many different colors. It's nice, it's simple, it's elegant, and it's a great starter project for anyone looking to do a shadow box. So I want to thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget, and you're watching it on YouTube, don't forget the like button. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you on the next video. Have a great day, everyone.